Welcome back to another foundation road test. This one is going to be an It by Lines foundation review. I was really excited when this one came out. It seemed to be pretty promising and I heard a few people talking about it here and there, so I placed an order as soon as I saw it up on a website. I can't remember if it was It Cosmetics or Ulta, but I got mine from Ulta and you can get it there. There are 7 shades in this foundation, which I don't really think that that is a great foundation shade range, but there are more shades in this foundation than there are in the CC cream, so that's promising. This foundation is $38 for 1 fluid ounce of product. I think that's actually pretty decent compared to a lot of the higher end foundations these days. As usual, I'm going to read you a little bit about the product before I get into the foundation road test. I've been wearing this for about a solid week now. For those of you who don't know the background of It Cosmetics, it's developed with plastic surgeons and they do have some skincare in their cosmetics. So a lot of people do like it for that reason. I'm one of them. So they say this is supposed to start as your hydrating anti-age serum. It has pure color pigments to conceal the look of lines, wrinkles, and imperfections and give you instant complexion perfection. It's perfect for all skin types. It's infused with anti-aging peptides, caviar extract, hydrolyzed collagen, hyaluronic acid, argan oil, babassu oil, which I don't know what that is. If anyone does, please chime in and let us know. Plus vitamins A, C, E, B1, B2, B3, B5, B7, B9, and coenzyme Q10, and features proprietary drops of light optical blurring technology for an airbrushed lit from within glow. And you can experience luminous, sheer to medium coverage that makes your skin look younger, not older. It specifically says that. It doesn't contain a tested amount of SPF like the regular CC cream. So if you're someone who doesn't want a high level of SPF, this would be a good foundation for you if you don't want additional SPF in your foundation. I'm gonna also talk about their new By Lines serum when I go into the summary at the end of the foundation road test. So I'll just go ahead and say really quickly, I like the bottle, I like the packaging. It looks like a nice sleek glass bottle, but it's really lightweight and it's plastic, so if you travel you don't have to worry about it being fragile. The lid pops off easily and it's a nice pump. You do get a decent amount out with each pump, and it's the vacuum type delivery system, so you'll actually see the bottom level rise each time you use it, and it'll go up and you'll get every last drop out, unlike your usual pump systems where you have to really dig it out in the end if you want to get every last drop out. I really like that. I am in the shade medium. I have it on now. I've had it on for a couple of hours now, no touch-ups. I am going to go into the demo and the check-ins for today. And then I'm going to go into a couple of check-ins that I did the other day. Of course, I've been wearing it more days than I do check-ins in various ways with different primers and different powders. And I go into my summary overall at the end. So we can get started with that now. I have my Hourglass Veil on this side and I have a CoverGirl Combination Skin Primer, I think, on this side. I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember the exact name. So for the foundation, I actually really like the pump mechanism. It's really lightweight. It's very easy to travel with. And in a pump, you actually get a decent amount out. I'm going to pump out 2 pumps and it's pretty thick. And that sometimes means it's hard to spread out, but for this particular foundation, I don't find that to be the case. I'm just gonna take a little bit and dot it on my face. I don't always do that, but for this foundation, I find I have plenty of time to blend it and I can layer it too. So that's what I do. I don't think I used even maybe a fourth of what I had on my hand, and it gives a nice, maybe light, medium coverage, maybe light coverage on this side of my face. And you can see there's still some redness going on over here. The redness is pretty covered up over here, and I'm gonna put a little bit more. I'm just gonna take it straight on the brush this time, just a little bit, and dab it in. And I'm dabbing it on this side and I'm gonna kind of swirl it on this side just to show you the difference. But you could do it either way. And I just find I get a little bit maybe more coverage when I dab it in, kind of like a beauty blender. And I do like using a brush for this foundation. I find that I get a nice amount of coverage. It's natural looking. I get a little bit more coverage than I do with a beauty blender, and it never leaves any brush strokes, which is really nice. So there's one half of the face, there's the other. And I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna take it directly on the brush and just swirl it. Here's both sides done. If you have oily combination skin, this can look quite scary, quite intimidating, and it will look like you're gonna be a grease ball the entire day. Once it's set, it actually takes down a lot of the dewy finish that I have right now. I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup and I will come back. Okay, the makeup has been done for the most part. I think I need to do another layer of this liquid lipstick, but that's okay. And I need to do my hair, and so I need to get going, but I just wanted to show you that after makeup is on, and I did top with my Boots number 7, are they even calling it Boots anymore? Number 7 Perfect Light Loose Powder, I think that's the full name. I really love the way this foundation makes my face look and feel. It's so ultra lightweight. It makes my skin just look good. I'm gonna zoom in really quickly so you can see it. That was out. So if you look closely, you will notice that my pores look really nice, and that is not the primers. I don't use pore filling primers with my foundation road test because I think that that gives a false reading, if you will. And my forehead, okay, you're gonna have to excuse this scratch in my forehead. I thought something bit me earlier and I scratched, so that is not the foundation. I think there's a hair on my forehead. That's not the foundation. That is from me scratching, and I had to just deal with it. I didn't have time to buff it out because I'm trying to go somewhere. So that's just gonna be there today, but it is not in any fine lines. It's not settling in my pores. I mean, it's been like 30 minutes, but it looks good. It looks nice and natural. It gives a nice medium to light coverage, but with a skin-like finish. It doesn't look like makeup on my skin, which I love. It seems to blur the pores when I set it. I don't feel like it necessarily blurs the pores until I set it. I mean, I have oily combination skin, so I'm setting my makeup. So I will check in today, and then I'll put the other check in from the other day too, and then I'll report back at the end. I am sitting waiting on Brooke to get out of school, trying not to look like a freak talking to my phone, but it's been 6 hours. My makeup is still on. It still looks just really good. My skin looks just really healthy and good with this foundation on. It's not breaking up. Oh, by the way, I have not touched up once. Not once, and I'm in the sun and I don't look shiny. So 6 hours, I'll check in again later. So I'm here in the fabulous bathroom lighting that I just love. Sarcasm. This is not chronological. I am filming this check-in after I have already filmed my outro, but I wanted you guys to see it at about the 12-hour mark. And it's actually been slightly more than 12 hours, but I feel like you guys should see it at about this time frame so you can see how much makeup is still on my face on a long day. And this is typical. This is what I've been seeing. It's not settling in any fine lines. I'm going to scoot in a little closer just so you can see. I don't like using my phone for this sometimes in indoor lighting just because I feel like it kind of makes things blurry looking. There's no filter, it's an iPhone. It looks good. I haven't added anything, and I have not touched up today with a single blotting sheet and with any powder. I have taken a tissue one time and blotted, and I really don't even think that I needed to do that. It's not overly greasy. It's not settling anywhere. You can see some little forehead creases, but it's not settling in them. That's just forehead creases. And if I lift them up, you can see that nothing is settling in there. It wears really well. It looks nice. I don't have to worry about it. And the performance is pretty consistent. And it's a good natural finish that I don't have to worry about, which is nice. I'm sitting in front of a window at my parents' house to give you guys a baseline for what this looks like about 45 minutes after application. I have been sweating a little bit on my chin. I used a damp beauty blender, and actually I have one side Too Faced Born This Way loose powder and the other with my boots. It looks really, really good and natural, and I think the sunlight's kind of reflecting in a weird way, but I will come back in several hours and update you on how it's doing. I've had the foundation on exactly 4 hours now. I didn't use a primer this morning. I feel like in this bathroom lighting, which is kind of harsh, it's making my overall complexion read more pink than it is. My chin is not red in real life, and what I'm seeing on the viewfinder is that it looks red right now, but it's really not if I look in the mirror behind me. So I actually am very pleased with how this is holding up. I haven't touched up yet at all, and it's been 4 hours. I feel like it's still got a very satiny look to it. It doesn't look oily, it doesn't look greasy, and I will update again in a few more hours. So we're now at the 8.5 hour mark, and everything is still on my face. It still looks very natural. I am looking in the monitor because I can't tell how the lighting is. But I will say that for a natural looking foundation to last close to 9 hours with needing one touch up during the day is pretty phenomenal. And it doesn't look dry anywhere. It doesn't look overly oily. So I'm happy. This room is the one room in the house that gets very hot and stifling at the late afternoon and evening point of the day. And so I'm going to try and get through this rather quickly, but I tend to get wordy with my summaries. I'm going to try and keep it short. I did want to touch on the Bye Bye Lines serum because I know a lot of you have been curious about this, and it is part of the Bye Bye Lines line. So I wanted to cover it, and I have been trying this for pretty much the same amount of time that I've been trying the foundation. They go really well together. I like the serum. It's $58 for 1 ounce of product, which may seem like a lot. It's not drugstore prices, but it does have peptides, collagen, and hyaluronic acid in it. The two serums that I toggle between are the Skin Medica TNS Essential Serum and now the NuGene, whatever the official name of that is. But they're both really good serums, and they're both very pricey. So if you're wanting to get a serum that has really good anti-aging ingredients in it that will probably make a difference in your skin, this might be a good thing for you to look at. I did like the way it felt on my skin. It is not a liquid consistency like the other two serums that I use. It's more of a lotion, a light lotion consistency, but it does still sink into the skin fully, and it feels really nice. It didn't make my skin feel greasy or anything like that. That was what I was worried about at first. Sometimes I wore it all over my face. I actually wore it with my NuGene serum underneath it. I wore it just under my eyes and sometimes just on these lines. I've worn it on my neck. It smells really good. It's got a, I don't know, a tropical, kind of a grapefruit scent or something, but it doesn't affect my sensitive skin whatsoever. It actually seems to soothe it a little bit. So if you're looking for a nice serum, this might be one that you want to check out, but it worked well with my makeup and it worked well with this foundation. And we're here, most of us, for anti-aging reasons, and this is Bye Bye Lines, and they both have great ingredients in them. So you may want to check this out. So I'm going to go into my summary of this. I am at the 8 hour mark, actually 8 hours and 15 minutes of having this on my skin right now. And again, I'm in a very hot, stifling room right now, and I've been getting little beads of sweat. It's still very much on my face and it still looks good. And I feel like that has been consistent with this foundation, no matter what primer I've worn it with, no matter what powder I've worn it with, no matter what skincare I have paired it with. It's just been a foundation I haven't really had to worry about. I'll check in thinking I'm going to be an oil slick because it's so hot and humid down here right now. I'll check in on it. It'll be about 4 hours or about 6 hours or even 3 hours, thinking I'm going to be oily, I need to blot. And I'm always pleasantly surprised that I still look just nice and satin or demi matte, and I just don't look greasy whatsoever. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. So this is what's happening at the 8-hour mark. And I think I'm just now starting to show a little bit of glow, but it's still nothing to write home about. It still looks good, and that's probably because I'm in this room that's making me sweat. But you know, don't look at that little forehead mark that happened this morning when I scratched my forehead. I just left it there, and it happens to be in my forehead crease, unfortunately. I just didn't worry about it, but it has not settled. It doesn't settle into my fine lines. Of course, that would completely contradict the name of the foundation. It doesn't settle in my pores, and it just makes my skin look healthy and brighter and more radiant, I feel like. So I'm gonna zoom back out. Even though the consistency is thick, I feel like it's very easy to apply. It applies very smoothly. I prefer to apply it with a brush than anything else. I feel like it applies more quickly with a brush than it does with my fingers, and I get more of a medium coverage than I do a light coverage. If I want a lighter coverage, because sometimes I do, I'll use a beauty blender, and I can build it up to a medium coverage with a beauty blender. I just usually prefer that light to medium coverage, and it's just easier and quicker with a brush. And it's kind of scary when you first put it on and you see that real satiny, glowy finish, especially if you have oily combination skin. But every time I set it, no matter what powder I used, it did set into a more demi-matte, almost a matte finish, but it still looked healthy and radiant. So for that reason, I think if you have dry skin, it'll work. If you have combination oily, normal skin, I really do think this is a good foundation for all skin types. I was doubtful when I first put it on my skin, but every single day I wore it. Like I said, no matter what primer. My Hourglass Mineral Veil primer is my baseline primer. I usually try it with that first, and then once it works with that, I'll see what other primers it works with. It works with pretty much any primer from drugstore to high-end, and same with powder. It just looks really, really pretty. It feels weightless on my skin. That's another huge thing. I never know what to expect from a foundation that gives that glowy, satiny coverage right off the bat. I always feel like it might make me feel slimy or slippery as the day goes on, but it didn't do that. I do feel like very similarly to the IT CC cream, it's long wearing and I don't have to worry about it. I am one that really likes the IT CC cream. I know it's not for everybody. It settles a little bit heavier than this does. This is more lightweight. It is a more sheer coverage than the IT CC cream, but I don't have to worry about either of them. I can pretty much just put them on and go and know that I'm not going to be a grease slick. Even if I do get shiny at some point, it's not going to be greasy. It's just going to wear away gracefully or look decent as it does wear away. So even on long days when I did touch up, let's say it was a 12 to 13 hour day, I only had to touch up once or twice, which is really, really good for a skin-like finish and sheer to medium coverage. The one drawback I would say to this foundation is that there are only 7 shades. I just don't understand why IT Cosmetics will not come out with more shades. Now, I do feel like their shades are somewhat self-adjusting. They can work for several shades. I guess if you are a shade or two above and below, you can work with a shade. But I really feel like for a company that is so skincare, anti-aging oriented, that they should come out with more shades. That is my only qualm. But I really do like everything about this foundation. This is a good daily wear foundation, light to medium coverage, skin-like finish, natural, healthy looking, easy, no maintenance foundation. I really like it. This was a great foundation road test and I needed one after the last one that I just did. So definitely check these out. But I hope you guys found this helpful, and if you are not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you're not following me on social media, I'll put that on the screen and down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.